This is it again. It's another episode of Crucial Repairs. So, here we go. We got another window that we need to get replaced. This window right here. This is one of the old school windows. Had the old sliding window, wood sliding window, but this window, as you can see, is broken. There's no glass in here. Luckily, last winter we had the glass for this one and the glass on the other side, so it held it up and it kept it cold. Put the AC in this year, so need to get this replaced before this winter so we can have one of those replacement windows in there and have something nice and secure, and save some of this heat in this building or in this room. Protect it a little bit. So we're gonna get ready and start. We're gonna take this AC out. I'm gonna start taking these windows out. Alright, here we go. From past experience with these windows, I know that you may need a dust mask, so got my little dust mask to take these out. Very good, because they tend to be dusty, so get your dust mask, protect your lungs, so you don't have to worry about any adverse effect. Right on. These windows are pretty easy to remove. These sliding windows. If I could get my camera turned around to show you guys. But anyway, they're fairly easy. What you really want to do is, they have a door jamb right here. You want to just pry this door jamb open with a pry bar. Put it right here, knock it, put it right in there, pry it right out, and these windows will come sliding right out. Show you after. As you can see, these are, like I said, fairly easy to pry open. Just put your pry bar inside here, slide it back, and pop it right out. And it comes right out. Go all the way down, get it completely out. And look, pops right off. Alright? So like I said, these are the old school draw windows. They have a string, they have a balance weight behind it. That rope right there, once you take that molding off, these pops right out. Real simple. Once they pop right out, if I get to this side, I'll show you. There's a drawstring that's attached in here. The rope is stapled. The rope is stapled in here. So all you gotta do is get something and pry that rope out, pop it out, and voila, you have the first sliding window out. So once you get that drawstring off the frame, what you want to do is, this drawstring right here has a counterweight balance behind this wood frame right here. Small little screws right there to get a screwdriver, a flat point screwdriver, and you screw those out. Alright, so once you back those screws out of here, one there, two screws, you back those out, you pop this out, and now you have the ability to pull that counterbalance weight from behind there. You might have to want to take this nut out to drop that screw down, and I'll show you how to get that weight out of here. 1 second. So you've untied that nut right here. You remove this small wheel that's back there. That's a roller that helps it roll smoothly. You take that out, and you just release that rope, let it sit, let it hang for a little bit. And if you go down to the bottom down here, this is like a little trap door. Has a screw right here and a screw at the bottom. Open this trap door, back those screws out. So before you actually pull this trap doors out, once you back those screws out right here, two screws, before you get to this trap door, this little piece right here needs to be removed. Makes it a lot easier. And then it's not screwed to anything. All it is just popped in there, and that's just a guide for the second window frame that's in there. So pop this out whether you break it or not, you're doing a replacement window, so you won't need it anymore. So you could break it, or if you could get it out, bring it all out whole. So now that we removed that second guide that was right here, that was holding the second frame window in. So once you remove that guide and that's holder, you could really take this second window pane out, and there you have another rope attachment on there that's attached to the counterbalance behind the frame. You could take that out and pop the second pane out. Okay, here we are. We took the second window pane out, and like I was telling you, this trap door right here, actually behind this trap door you have the weights. So these weights, this trap door is here just in case the rope is, ropes break for overtime, or this knot slips off and you have to go back and reattach it. So this is the counterweight that's behind here. That helps you slide those old windows up and down fairly easy. And you have 4 of these, because there's 4. One for the front window pane, second window pane, and they're all behind this frame here. So that was the first one, and if you reach back here you could see the second one that's back here. So there's 4 of these weights. They're fairly heavy, they're not light. So if you're into weightlifting, you can use these as your, do a little workout, clean them up and nice. Maybe you could bring them to the attic, and I don't know, these are probably what, maybe 10 pounds maybe. A little workout. Just be careful because they're kind of heavy if you're not used to this stuff. And there's 4 of these, like I said, 2 on the left side, and then on the other side there's 2 more of the other trap doors right here. Take those screws out, pop that open, and they're back there. So once you get those counterweights out your way, then it's time to remove the screens and the glass. And these, as usual, like how you slide them, they're easy to pop out. Just slide this to the left and both sides, and you pop these out. And do this for the screen and the glass. Alright, so once you pull those screens out, you have now the glide for the screens that needs to come out. And this is, again, fairly easy. So on the other side of the outside, so you got to be careful now, because you're on the second floor and you're hanging out the window, so be careful. And if you look, there are screws on the outside. One there, and they're all the way around the frame that needs to come out. Again, if you're not comfortable doing this, get a professional or somebody who's comfortable to do it. Take these screws out, and that will enable you to pop this right out after that. Okay, now that glide is fully out, the next step is to take this piece out. And this is, again, it's not stapled in there, it's not screwed or anything, or maybe it's a little tacks that's in there. However, it's fairly easy to come out, and this was just a holder for the glide, to something to staple the glide to. What I do to get this out is I use my pry bar, get a hammer, and basically knock the hammer, use this to pry it open. Use the hammer and knock it into the wood right here and pry it open, and then you'll be able to pull it out all the way around, because you have it all the way around, like this one right here. See? It's easy, it pops right out. And you need to get this out all the way around. Alright? Alright, you pretty much take everything out you need to take out right now that would hinder you from putting in the new replacement window. So all you need to do is simply clean this up. Everything, maybe a vacuum, a dustpan, clean all of this out, and you'll be able to move on to the next step. Okay, so now you got everything nice and cleaned out. Any loose nails or anything that's in there, you remove the nails, nice and clean. It's ready for the window insulation. The only thing I must mention about these kind of windows is rarely do they ever match up perfectly, because now you're going from an old style window to replacement windows. Alright, so what you want to do is you want to make sure you have a good measurement from the bottom, one side to the next, and it has to be pretty much precise because you need to know this. So the bottom needs to be measured from one end to the next, the middle needs to be measured, and then the top as well, because the window that you're going to have most likely not going to match up perfectly as it is. When you decide to change your window, you want to have a rough estimate of the rough opening, because as I'll show you later on the side of the replacement windows, it gives you a precise size that it will fit into, and you know it's really not going to fit perfectly, so it's up to you. Sometimes you have to do some modification, as I will have to do with these windows. This one is 31, about 31 and a half, 31 5/8. Good thing it's squared on top as well as bottom, so I won't have to cut weird to put it in, but should work good. And that's what I'll do next. Man, I couldn't have picked a better October day, beautiful October day to do this. It is quite nice out here. I don't know, it's probably 70 something. Very nice, nice and sunny, clear. But anyway, like I was mentioning earlier, when you buy your window, you want to make sure that you look at your rough opening. And these are, see if I can get this thing to focus here. There we go. So the rough opening, the unit dimensions, as you see, you'll see big 32 by 62. You know, that's the size is going to show, but the unit dimensions, existing opening range, and it gives you a range that you should have for your rough opening when you buy these windows. So you want to pay attention to these things as you're buying your window, because it's not one size fit all kind of deal. And if you buy the wrong one, and if it's off by too much or too big, you know, you're going to have a lot of trouble fixing or installing these windows. Alright, time to unbox. Next thing you want to do is you don't want to work with the glass and everything in there. So basically just remove them, take them out while you work with it. Set it aside. These are easy to pop out. Slide it up as far as you could go. Bring it to the side. Just tilt one side more than the other one and it will pop right out. And it's the same thing for the top. Slide that down, pop your locks out. Tilt one side more than the other one. Pops right out. Don't force it though, you don't want to break it. So you have a pretty good idea what your rough opening is when you measured it. Now it's time to measure from this side to this side and make sure it's within that range of your window, your opening in the frame. And if it's not, then you gotta cut a little piece off on each side to match it up, both back and front. You're good to go. Even though it's just a small piece that I'm cutting off, I still like to mark my line so when I cut, I get a nice straight line. For this kind of cutting application, you could use a rotary saw, which works fine, but I like to use my jigsaw, and my brand of choice is Ryobi. Ryobi. Always wear protection, wear your mask, get some eye protection, and cut along your line. So you do that all the way around for all your marked lines, all four sides. Then you'll be good. Okay, we're back upstairs now. We going at it again. So now we've cut our window. Now it's time to drop it in. If you did a good job with cutting your window, it should be able to slide right in real easy. No problem. Beautiful, not bad. After a few windows that I've put in, I'm getting better at this, I must say. So now you just gotta line it up properly. You're good to go, and I'll show you four easy screws that you gotta put in. And the rest of it is mostly cosmetics. So once you've inserted your new window frame, I find now you have to make sure that it's lined up pretty much all the way around on the inside. What I try to do is use my tape measure and measure it out a good measurement from the top and then all the way down the bottom down here, and try to get the same measurement. I find that 3 inches work good for me, and I'll do the same thing all the way around and make sure that 3 inches lined up wherever it is, but whatever works for you. But you also want to make sure on the outside that it covers this metal frame right here and the wood is not showing on the outside, because that's going to be important when it comes to waterproofing and weatherproofing. There you have it. So I'll line that up real good, and then you only have 4 screws to put in. These 4 screws come in the package, and if you look inside the frame, you have to pull out. I'll show you the one at the bottom down here. one screw hole at the bottom down here, right there, and one on the other side, and then two up top. To get to the one up top, you actually have to pop this out. It's a little protective shield there, and then there goes the other one right here. So you have that on this side, and then one on the other side, and those are the only 4 screws that you need to put in, and you're pretty much secured. Okay, now that you have installed the frame, put your screws in. Next step that I do is on the outside here, you want to put a caulking, bead of caulking right down this line right here on the outside of the window frame. I don't know if you can see that properly, but it should be clear. But put a caulking on there, again, if it's for weather, for rain, waterproofing and stuff like that, so your water don't seep through there. And all you need for that is, I use a clear coat, and then your gun here, caulking gun, and I use a clear silicone coat, and you just go along the outside. Again, be careful as you do that because you're hanging out the window, and safety first. Okay, we're almost there. So I put the silicone on the outside of the window. I put some of this stuff, the great stuff, window and door foam. So weather insulation foam sealant. So I put that because I always have a space towards the bottom of the window down there on the outside. I use some of this great stuff and just fill in the gaps. As you can see, some of it is seeping out right there, but that's easy. We'll just cut that off the more it fills out. Sometimes better to have more than less, right? So anyway, so we did that. We put the window in. It's nice and tight, very secured. And now all we have to do is just get the trims put in, and we're good to go. Measure nice and neatly, and we'll put the trim in. I already cut this little piece here for down here to fill that little gap in down there. And once you put that in, all the way around, all the way up top, you're good to go, and that will be it. So folks, as you can see, replacing a window is not that difficult. It's not that hard, and I'm not a professional, but I was able to get it done, knock it out. What time is it now? It's 2:47. I started a little after 12 o'clock, so give yourself about 3 hours to put one in, you know, if you're amateur like myself. And hey, you're good to go. At least you don't have to pay X amount of dollars just for installation. So until next time, this is Colin, aka DJ Crucial. Have a safe and window installation. Peace out.